Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're on part 3 of my guide for God of War 3 Chaos Difficulty No Upgrade Run Plus, meaning no upgrades will be performed on any of the weapons or the health or the magic or the items. So, we're in Hades Palace now. We're going to be doing some minor puzzles and engaging in some fights. So when you come over here, you want to get off the blocks that you're get off those blocks that you're pushing and then start grabbing these guys. These guys are problematic, I must say. And I think they're one of the reasons why Pandora on Fire, if you've played that Trial of Exile, it's the second to last one, I believe. Fear Kratos is pretty hard too. It's because it seems like it's on hard difficulty. The other ones are on normal. It's either on hard or very hard when he starts getting aggressive. But anyway, so prepare for a few fights with these guys every time you come down here. But there's only 2 in number. And this video in my previous guide was one that was remarkable to me because of the fact that for the first time I noticed that I wasn't being able to get the job done with the level 1 blades. Because at this point in the game, you can upgrade. You have the ability, if you don't do excessive grinding for orbs, which I don't think really is possible in this game too much. I mean, I'm sure there is somewhere. You could probably find some clever way of doing it, but I used to do that, but it's cheap and it doesn't help the people that have limited supplies and upgrades. And I also try not to use magic wherever possible, because if I have magic and I'm using it and you don't have it, then we have a problem, kind of. But I do expect people to be conservative with their supplies if you're watching a guide like this, because sometimes you just want to get rid of like the dogs. I think I used the magic on the dogs here, and it was for the simple reason that if I die up here, it's kind of from a technical reason, because of the fact that whenever I come up here and I die in this fight, which happens because these bulls are really wily, you get a checkpoint, but it doesn't line up very well. I've never been able to get it lined up, so it looks out of sync. So I try to do this fight as best as I can and be as careful as I can. Now, normally a minotaur, will be technical, but they do look like bulls, for God's sakes. A bull will get trapped outside where we came in on the other side of the gate, and he will not be able to get over there. He'll kind of give up and just stand out here. And I've used not the Plume of Prometheus, but the Olympic Fury, or Olympian Fury, whatever it is, which is 6 square buttons on these guys out here, and tried to fling them off into the ground just for fun, but it doesn't work. They will. If you look, I think in my Chaos guide for my previous guide, I was trying to do that exact same thing, and I was remarking about it here. But these guys will resist your grapple grab sometimes. If you're in the air, it can be problematic because you'll be coming down on them, and they didn't do it here. I was hoping he would resist. They were resisting quite fiercely before on my first takes over here. That is to say, when you're grapple grabbing them, they'll just block it, and then you'll come out and you'll be vulnerable. And if a bunch of dogs jump on you, you don't have iframes during that process of trying to get off, which in my case is just waiting because the computer is doing it for me. And when you come out of that, you're likely to have hardly any health left, because what's happened in the meantime is that several bulls have hit you, and it just takes a lot of damage off you. So we're coming up here, and I'm trying to do this quick roll to get from point A to point B the quickest. But sometimes simply walking is faster because you'll roll to a place where you don't want to go. So pull up Persephone here. She was the boss of God of War. God of War Chains of Olympus. A difficult boss, and the checkpoint was egregious there. But I have gotten it to, if you're on that part, I think there's a way to get a checkpoint on the boss, and that sounds pretty horrible, but the thing is, they checkpoint it before you do the sequence of going up to her tower. But I've done it a couple times to where I've gotten the checkpoint right on her, and I'm not really sure how I got it, but I think I wrote a comment about it in that video somewhere. So there are 2 fights here, one on either side of this area, and I'm throwing guys. I'm trying to throw the guys into the harpy to get them down. And it just depends. If you go on, it just depends which side you go on here. You'll have, if you go on the left, you'll just have the enemies all on the left, and then when you go on the other side, conversely speaking, whatever path you secondly take, you'll just have not very many enemies, like 1 or 2 harpies here. So just stomp on anybody who's left, and we're going to get these chests. Why am I getting chests if I'm not doing an upgrade run? First of all, it's just I'm trying to see how many I can get, and I'm trying to get as many combos as I can, and brutal kills and demutilations. For instance, if you kill these enemies, you get a mutilation plus 10. Right there, mutilation plus 10. And you could stack a lot of those by keeping your combo alive. So as you saw right there, there's only 1 harpy. So coming up here, I know of the hidden item over there to the right, but I'm not going to pick it up. So we're going to come on down here now. And we're going to prepare for another battle with harpies. Just ignore the crank for now. Get some health if you need it. Don't worry, because there's another chest downstairs if you haven't picked it up. Well, at this point, actually, you can't have gotten it, so it's not wasting it. So I did die on this fight. You know, surprisingly, you might not think that I die a lot, but I die very frequently. I just try to hide the edits as best as I can to make the video as seamless for you to watch as possible. So there's a chest right there, and then when you move this, you'll get a little cutscene, and then the harpies will spawn. So I'm charging an arrow right here, see if I can fall any of these guys, not fall, but just make them fall. And just be aware that when you're on the ground and you're tearing their wings off, the game has pretty much targeted you very precisely, because it just knows that you're in that position. So what I do is I roll away from that point as possible. Sometimes you have to think like a computer. You know, they're probably targeting me. See that? The red was right under me, meaning I was most vulnerable. And here I'm gonna. No iframes when you're throwing them down. That's the big problem. And then coming down, can you get into the animation like that, which is iframes? And even coming out of it, I had the iframe, so it didn't damage me. But you could take those guys on as best as you can. I just prefer to use the grapple grab because it gets me over to them as quickly as possible. I mean, you can evade them if you want to and hit them and shoot arrows at them, fire arrows. It's effective too. But I like to go for grab kills because of they net me the most points. So coming up here, we just want to move the blocks over nearby to this contraption here, and don't bother to pull it because we first have to get the manacles off. And no more battles to speak of, just some minor little puzzles here. This will open the manacles on both sides, and then it is a timed event to get to it. So Hades is pretty tough just because the game is very bold and doesn't give you a checkpoint. Now, ordinarily, you know, I would that would bother me. Like on the Scorpius boss fight, it does bother me because there's no checkpoint. But on a boss like this, it is actually a fair fight. And I mean, I've almost beat the Scorpius. I got pretty far, but you lose all your progress if you make a single mistake, and sometimes it really doesn't even feel like it's your fault when you die. And the main reason I think is that it's the hop with the cestises. It's not a fast enough evade, and you're so vulnerable with those damn punching gloves on. But it has to be done. I also know of a strategy where you can use the mini scorpions, you light them on fire, and that will damage the legs too. And I might employ that a little bit and be very cautious on it. But I'm not really sure what to do yet. But I know it's waiting for me, and I have to defeat it. Does that mean I will? It's one of those contradictions and one of those ironies. I don't know. I'm going to try my goddamnedest, though. So, Hades boss fight will start in a couple of seconds. And there's not much need to worry on this guy, because he's not that bad. Okay, so for the Hades boss fight, I'm going to do things a little bit differently than I did before. You don't get a checkpoint for a long time, so you need to preserve your health. And what I was mentioning before, when I first did this guide, was that you can approach him and hit him with the blades. So this time I'm just going to do that. You can block and parry. Well, for the purposes of this guide, I'm not going to be saying parry. If I can remind myself not to, because we can't parry. However, the projectiles that he throws, you can parry. So for this first part, all he has is a 1-2 hit combo. The claw, excuse me, in his left hand has not as much reach as the claw in his right hand. But if you approach him, it's fine as long as you realize that from time to time, when he's tired of you standing too close to him, he will try to stomp on you. So you'll have to roll out of the way. And then once this phase occurs, just make sure you double jump and then hold the X button to glide. And so for this part here, I'm a little bit more bold than I was before, because I was realizing that I wasn't getting hit on the one on top of that jump rope attack. So it emboldened me a little bit more so that I could fire off here. And then there's generally enough time to, if he's going to do the high attack, there's generally enough time, see like right there, to fall down. And then, I'm not sure what happened there, but you just want to keep firing the bow at him. And as you saw also, he had that 1-2 hit. The next time he does that attack with the projectiles, it'll be a 3-hit combo. So this time around, I actually failed twice here, but I didn't want to have you guys suffer through that. And I also figured out that it's not crucial to have the oh, you can see my rage meter. See it in the bottom right? It's because I was using it, and then I decided, you know what? If I fail, I fail. And I did fail twice there, and then that was my third try, and I succeeded. So it's possible. How do you do it then? You need to do the Plume of Prometheus, and as well as the Olympic Fury, and also the 5 squares, 3 triangles. Although in the next video, it's going to turn out to be a 9-hit combo. Clearly evidenced on screen when I'm hitting the tree trunk of Gaia. So it might be 6. Maybe I was not counting quickly enough. But this phase, what he's going to do is that latch attack, which latches onto you, and the computer will complete that quick time event with the shoulder button taps. And then he will do also a 1-2 combo, which will always be followed up by this right here. Watch him. See? He always follows it up. So it's a 1-2 hit combo, and then he buries the claws into the earth, and you need to be very far away from that to avoid taking damage, or simply drop magic to give yourself the iframes. And you won't take damage, and you'll possibly damage him if you do it closely enough to him. So bottom line, just stick to the other side of the screen, use the arrows, and just make sure he doesn't stomp on you. It's not too bad. And then, it is important to realize that if you're in a corner, even the quick roll might not be able to get you out in time. And you can block the 1-2 combo, but when he digs the claws from the earth, you have to be away from him or casting magic. So at this point, he's got the skulls, and then when he's not doing the skulls, he'll do the 1-2-3 combo, which all of which are blockable. And these, as you can see, you can block them, but if you parry them, it's better because you'll deal a lot of damage off of him. So just send them back his way, and I believe I failed a couple more times on this next sequence with the flesh. I was rewatching, see 1, 2, 3, just block all of those. You can roll out of the way if you want to, but I just like to do it this way. So it is pretty difficult because the claws will sometimes interrupt you when you're trying to get over to the flesh. So, like I said, the Plume of Prometheus, the Olympian Fury, the 6 squares will knock it away from him. But basically, keep hitting it. The more you hit it, and the more you use combos that end with the triangle button, like the square triangle or the triple square, and then the 3 triangles, which is the strongest move you can do. And just realize that that's a great finisher, and it does large area damage that will hit that piece of flesh and possibly, get you that last hit that you need. Now, this phase here, I roll, but if you just want to aim and just walk around, the spikes won't hit you. After I did this boss fight, I was looking to see what Shinobier did. He's a great YouTuber that I don't believe he publishes videos anymore. His channel is not existent anymore, but he might be around here somewhere in another username. I have no idea, but I only look at other people's videos after because I want to see what they did. I want to find out myself, and I've done this fight 50 times, so I really don't need to know, but I was just curious because sometimes people do things in ways that you can never even imagine yourself doing. But with the dogs, you could probably kill them, but it's not worth it. I mean, I've tried to kill them in the past with a level 2 blades, but with level 1 it's just going to take too long, so just guard against them. You can parry them, but it won't send a dog back at him like we sent a skull back when we parried those skulls that were coming after us. And this is just an elongated fight. If you just want to use the bow and walk around those spikes, they're too slow to get you. That's the problem. Or that's not a problem, it's actually the solution, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll summon 6 spikes. And it's just up to you how you want to. If you want to approach him and start swinging at him with a rage, you can. If you want to draw magic, you can. But I reserve those for the last possible, moment of frustration. But this is exceedingly faster if you shoot and don't roll, because while I'm rolling, I'm not damaging him, and it's just drawing out the fight. So it's up to you. It's no less dangerous to roll as it is to shoot, aiming, and just move. It doesn't even matter where you move as long as you're just moving. I mean, you could probably walk into the spikes, but just move away from those areas of effect on the ground. And then at this point, the computer will never tap the circle button for you. Every time you jump on him to tear his flesh off, and in that sequence where we just were attacking him, it won't press the circle button for you with the Hephaestus' ring. And then this time around, I'm instigating all the attacks so you can see what they are. That's a square attack right there. And then that's the jab with the O button. It kind of stuns him, so it's a pretty good attack. And then that's obviously the triangle attack because it's taking the longest to complete. And then it's just a case of, it's a tug of war, so you have to be moving away, facing the camera, in order to make some realistic progress on him. I mean, you could keep doing this over and over again. The computer does complete that QuickTime event for you. So I honestly, I just keep hitting him, and if I fall in the Styx River, it's not a big deal. You don't take damage. So he's got that 1-2 hit combo, and then you'll see that he also does a one hit combo. So all you need to do is evade, and then when he does the swipe, which has the same sound effect from when we were doing that jump rope section, you just need to roll through it at the last second. And one of the graceful, one of the things I'm really gratitude. What am I talking? I can't even fucking talk. One of the things I'm really fucking grateful for is on the Scorpius boss fight. The computer. Okay, I missed that one. That was the first time it came. on the Scorpius boss fight, the Scorpion later in the game. Every time you die, it'll restart you in that sequence where you're in the guy's mouth and you need to tap the shoulder buttons. There's nothing worse than spending 5 hours on that guy like I had to, and I still probably have to spend another 5 hours on him, or maybe I'll just do it on my first try. You never know. But the mercy that the game does is that if you have Hephaestus's ring on, it will do the quick time event, and it'll very rapidly do it for you. So it's such a nice luxury to be able to have that happen. And if you're curious, in order to use Hephaestus, in order to use any of the godly possessions on Chaos, you have to first beat Chaos, which is lamentable. It really is. A lot of people hate that, including me. So if, for instance, you clear the game on hard, and then you want to play Chaos with those with the godly possessions, you can't. And obviously you sacrifice trophies when you have those on, but I've already platinumed the game. But platining the game doesn't mean you're a pro at this game. It just means you've gone through taking the time and have the patience. I mean, there's not even a trophy for Chaos difficulty, which is really sad, very sad. So at this point he had the O button over him, but he pulled me in right afterwards, and fortunately it didn't fade. And I don't think it does fade, although I've never pushed it. Now, about pushing this button, it won't do it for you. So you're going to have to press the O button. And a lot of people, they call me the God of War, and they say I'm the best, and that is a boost to the ego. There's nothing more flattering than hearing that. But at the same time, I tell these people, with enough skill and practice, you could be as good as I am, probably even better. So just because you see me doing this stuff and realize that, like, it took me an hour to get this far into the boss fight. I'm not a pro, but I'm striving to be the best I can in this game because I love it. But anyway, here's another checkpoint, and this is actually deceptively difficult. So the attacks that he does, and I'm glad I'm redoing this because I didn't mention what he does. He does this, which you need to just get to the left or to the right. If he's favoring a side, just like this right there, get to the other side. And he'll also spray he'll spray the platform with his Hades breath, and he'll also do a smashing attack with one of his hands. So what you need to be doing is doing quick strikes and also the square triangle. Not sure how that hit me, but like this attack, he'll do either arm. So you have to be very quick when you're seeing which arm he's going to favor, and then get to the other side. And he's pretty quick about it. And then this attack's probably the hardest one because it's so fast. But just because you're on one side doesn't mean it's going to go on the other side and spare you. I wish it were that easy. And if you want to, you can use the magic here. And this is tough. It took me like 10 tries to get this because he kept slamming his fist on me, killing me very quickly. And obviously, whenever you see the tether, you need to just get to the other side because then you will have an advantage over him because you'll be behind him. But that's pretty self-evident. And then once he's dead, you'll get a cutscene which you cannot skip. And I'm not sure about these shoulder button presses. I don't think it does it for you. But I could be wrong. I just didn't want to die and have to perhaps redo the fight. So, once we do a little bit of swimming in the Styx River, we will be given free use of the magic. You want to save your progress over here. Drop down. I'm not getting any of the godly possessions because obviously I already have all of them. And it's just redundant to pick them up again. This is not a guide to show you where collectibles are. It's a guide for people who want to do a challenge like this. And for me personally, if I ever do this, it'll be my crowning achievement because not even Ninja Gaiden 2 offers a challenge like this. I mean, yes, it does if you're unacquainted with the game, but this, I mean, on chaos difficulty with all the upgrades, it's not that bad, but I mean, no upgrades, weakest weapons, it's fucking tough. And I'm doing this also because I realize that people like watching people that aren't in their comfort zone, and I realize that, and it makes you a better player too. And I'm trying to be a better player, I'm trying to be a better man. The guy doesn't smash controllers. No, what happened, guys, is I just got at my wit's end. I went outside, just chucked it, and found it the next day, because it was like, did I go searching for it? I didn't even bother going to search for it, but when I found it, it was by the side of my house, and it was cracked open. So there's a lesson for you. So all the money I'll make this month from my partnership will go to that. And I'll probably owe too, because I don't make jack shit on here. You guys think I make a lot of money, but I'm getting there. I'm trying to get there, you guys, with your help. Everybody who commented in the first video, you guys are legends, because I really appreciate that. I don't give you any incentive to trust me after I just delete 10 videos from my guide. So, no damage or bust over here. And I love this enemy. Something about it. The Moss and the Bare Hands trial, these guys were in it. So, have I mentioned their attacks? I think I already have. But they do the overhead attack, which is a 2-hit combo, and then they do that jab, which is 1-hit combo. And then, do they do anything else? They do a deceptive and ambiguous getting to their feet attack, which, like I said, it doesn't depend on your proximity to them, because sometimes they'll swipe. Sometimes they'll swipe and you're not even near them, so it's redundant for them to even do it. But this is hard to get this no damage. You need patience here, because it takes like 100 hits to get these guys to the yo button prompt. But I'm so excited for this. It is a little bit disheartening to have to repeat stuff that I've already said, but you're looking at a person who's done 4 fucking guides for Ninja Gaiden 2. How many times do you think I've repeated myself in that? I never really got to the point where I wanted to kill myself or anything like that, you know? Figuratively speaking. I don't hit people, I just... what am I talking about? I don't, like... There's some idiot that commented on the first video that said just to calm down or something. I couldn't understand him because it didn't make any sense. His tenses were all wrong. He was calling me an it. He meant probably he, but he's probably out of country, and it's okay, because if I was trying to talk in his language, I couldn't say it jack shit either. But I don't know. It's, especially when you accompany a disrespectful comment in that. But basically, I don't hit people, I just throw my controller. How many of us have done that? When my sister used to live with me, she was the one who beat up on me. I don't hit women. It's one of those ironies in life where technically we're not supposed to touch each other, but it's kind of, if you're a real man, you don't hit women, you let them hit you. So, technically, if you go up and just touch somebody on the wrist or the hand, that's assault. I learned that. But we're gonna have a great guide, you guys, and just stick with it, because normally if you've been following me for a long time, you generally get my patterns and my modus operandi as far as what I do. I usually start a guide, get far, get pissed, delete it, and then start over. And then the one that I start over, it has a chance of getting deleted, but it's like a 33% chance. And then if I do delete it at that point, then it's almost guaranteed that a guide will be forthcoming. So I'm sorry if you have to live with that sort of what's the word? Unequivocal kind of personality, but actually you're not living with me, you're just watching videos. And I'm doing this for you guys and for myself. It's just for everybody. Everybody wins. Everybody's a winner here at Big Benedict Productions. I have the stupidest jokes, I probably do. So anyway, now all the spirits are flying free because we slew Hades. So many epic boss fights in this game. So there's the portal. I will be seeing you guys on the other side of that, but don't worry, I'm not going to leave you. What I like to do here is jump off here and then grapple onto it. Like, man, this game is just so good. So good. Can we just have something good from now on? You know? Maybe not. Maybe this is the last great thing.